Yo, what's up YouTube? It's your boy Damontae bringing you a banger. Don't forget to go follow on my Twitch, please. Here you will never miss out on daily Payday content. The best ex-president's builds. I will start off with some general tips for the build. This perk deck is one of the fastest HP regens. It nearly is on the level of Kingpin with the HP regen, since it's capable of regenning 210 in a single, armor break. The Kingpin can regen anywhere from 225, 560 HP. So with this being said, it is still one of the best HP regens, or life gating, whatever you really want to refer to it as. The ex-president's build actually comes with multiple types of armor regen, one of them being the passive armor regen, which is given to every perk deck outside of Stoic, and then you also can grab Bullseye for a more of an aggressive style of armor regen. And then outside of that, you actually have the Perfect Line, which is one of your cards inside of the perk deck, which still is kind of a passive regen, but it's something that is different inside the perk, giving you 3 forms of armor regen. The ex-president can heal up off the life regen given from the perk itself, with not much of an issue like being presented. Even if you don't have teammates, you can easily survive off the smaller heals being like the 40 and 60 HP values, because instead of it just always having to be a 210 HP regen, just with your teammates, if you're by yourself, you're probably only going to get those little chunks. And if you survive by just the little chunks of HP, you can start to learn how you'll be able to do it, in a team setting. Killing enemies and using cover is probably the best way of actually capitalizing on HP regen. If you decide you're going to be wearing armor, you should go for the light ballistic vest with the diehard skill paired with it. When building your setup, make sure that you're actually bringing guns that are reliable enough to be continuously playing the whole mission with. Now this is a huge one. If you're using any types of explosives like the GL40s, the Judge, any of the explosives essentially, even throwables or the fire Molotov, this can be used to break your armor and then regen your HP in a safe manner. Positioning and knowing the angles, target prioritization, like knowing which targets are shooting at you first, target prioritizing the targets that are shooting at you first. Playing around the reaction timer and grace periods, this is the stuff that's going to be keeping you alive inside the ex-president. This build was featured inside my 22 perk deck video. It was also featured inside of another video called How to Ex-President from a 10k hour player. Since it has not gotten much change, it is still the same build, and the playstyle since these videos hasn't changed. You'll still hold angles and you'll still be positioning, which really just makes the difference here. It brings ammo banks for the benefit of the team, since your guns are fine on ammo pickup, but you're also going to be using fully loaded for the throwable regen, so you'll be taking a lot of the ammo boxes for grenade regen. Plus, if you'll be using this method of running out to grab ammo, you'll get shot and your armor will break, and then you'll have a good way of just continuously having HP regen offered to you. Fully loaded ace is for nade regen, which is very helpful if you're not being able to peek and there's lots of cops around. You just throw out the nade and you kill them all, and then you get your HP stacked up, or you get your armor regen, and then you're good to go. The build style has always been trying to keep distance. Since you have a sniper, you'll excel in ranged combat, but that doesn't mean you can't fight the close ranged battles. The sniper, if you are hitting your shots, it'll be the best thing for close ranged, medium ranged, and long ranged. But if you have an SMG that deals great damage like it does and the ammo economy is no issue, I will say that the SMG that you choose really doesn't affect much as well, since the build isn't really based on a concealment factor. You have lots of options for guns here. Bringing Grays to the table for the crowd control capabilities would be your main way of survival. Since Grays can kill other cops quickly, you'll be able to stack up your HP regen. Ex-Presidents is one of the only decks that will profit from the Grays skill. What I mean by that is that you'll have such an amount of HP stacked up in a few shots with a sniper that you can be comfortable with life regen that is given. Let's go into the skills for the build here. I grab myself combat medic so that if I do get painkiller shouted, I'll be able to have multi-shot HP. Then I grab myself Grays, which will be my main source of damage, and you can build this skill tree however you would like. Then going into the next, we grab ourselves Underdog, Scavenger leading all the way up to fully loaded, grabbing ourselves the ammo bags so that, as we had mentioned earlier, we can give them to our team essentially. And fully loaded will allow us to get our nades back, which is pretty important in this setup. Then we grab an aggressive way of armor regen, pairing it with 2 forms of passive increases. Then inside Technician, we do grab body expertise so that our SMG is actually worth some value to us.
Who has 120?
Then we grab ourselves some crits in a high detection build so that we can deal massive damage, while also grabbing the dodge skill so that we can do some sprinting dodge in a build that actually gives us dodge naturally. For our sniper here, we grab the compensated suppressor. Then we grabbed ourselves the stability increase, which is not really that useful, but you could also grab the ammo, and once again, not too much of a use here. Then we go for the gadget, which I do grab as some stability, but as I just mentioned, it's not much of a difference maker since bolt action rifle. Sights is all opinion based here, so I just went for the Seymour. It's my favorite sight, easiest one to use essentially. And then the stock, I went for the wooden body, just for the purple dragon over the golden dragon. If you aren't using this sniper, which the platypus is probably the better option here anyways. The secondary SMG is the Kxng, which are available to use literally anything that you want. But the way mine is customized is like this. I went for the precision barrel for the accuracy and stability, and then I went for the bigger the better for the accuracy and stability. Next I went for an accuracy boost. Then inside gadgets I went for the stability increase with the LED combo. Next pairing it with the AK plastic grip for some accuracy increase. The sight is once again opinion based, mine is the Seymour sight. Stocks, we did not remove the stock, we actually kept the normal one on. If you tried this build, what did you think about this classic setup of ex-presidents? Did you change the sniper rifle, and did you change your SMG? If so, let me know in the comment section. The LMG Pocket Sniper build. Having the LMG lets you have insane crowd control. The damage output is top notch. For a life-based build, you'll be able to play from close range, medium range, and still hit long range shots, at the cost of bullets being wasted. Now, if you're using the LMG to be shooting the crowds down, the main thing is to target prioritize. This will be the factor of life and death. I've spoken this on an earlier video, but it's always good to, refresh it. Because what a good LMG gunner is capable of doing is controlling a group by staggering them, knocking them over by dealing enough damage to the cop so that they're rolling around on the ground, and then killing the cops, and then coming back to the guys that are on the ground or the guys that they've staggered, and then finishing those ones off. That will be making the difference with using an LMG of life and death. If you was to focus on the one cop who's rolling around on the ground, the cops that aren't affected by the staggering or the damage dealt to them, they'll be the ones shooting at you and killing you, so that's why this is very important. Now the range issue that the LMG has is fixed by the secondary weapon being the sniper. I love the pocket sniper builds. It made a build that was impossible to be played the way that it is now be a possible thing. You have the ability to fight ranged cops with the sniper, and the graze comes in to play, which is much more useful in combat, and it is very useful with crowd control. Bringing graze to the table for crowd control ability will be your main way of survival if you're using it that way. Since graze can kill a lot of cops quickly for you, it can stack up the HP regen. The ex-presidents is one of the fast decks of regenning its HP, and it'll profit from the graze skill. What I mean by this is that you'll have such an amount of HP stacked from the kills and a few shots from the sniper that you'll be comfortable with the life regen that's given. With the LMG, you play a role of main DPS in this build. With the armor regen that's present in this setup, it works perfectly for these situations. While maintaining the HP needed to stay in the fight, this setup is perfect for anyone wanting to try a different style of armor gating. Let's get into the skills for the build here. We grab ourselves a Joker so that we can get an HP buff, which will allow us to just have more HP to play with. Then on the flip side, we have another guy in the field fighting for us. He doesn't regenerate HP, but he's at least fighting for us, getting shot at. We do grab grays as we have already mentioned, but we do grab ammo efficiency as an extra here. Now obviously you can ace ammo efficiency and grab the aggressive reload as the extra. Just build it how you would like. Next we grab ourselves aggressive reach-in as bullseye, and then we grab shotgun and resilience as the passive patches up. And then we grab ourselves scavenger so that we can pick up our ammo. We grab bunny expertise because our LMG is our main source of damage here, and since we have aggressive reload, we can reload the LMG quickly with that. But if we do somehow keep our lock and load in play, because lock and load likes to break itself if you accidentally sprint or if you shoot your clip and you wasn't ready to reload, you can use that skill, but we do have that in case we do trigger it. Then inside Ghost we grab ourselves the dodge, duck, and cover skill, and as we had previously mentioned, the unseen strike in a build that's high concealment, that's like the only way that you can really go for good damage. And then we grab ourselves bloodthirst, and this is just a little touch skill. You can kind of swap these little points around. And as I want to mention just real quick, we grab suppressor skills for stability and accuracy increases. The LMG I have here is built as it usually is, as we grab the long barrel for accuracy and stability. The barrel, we grab the bigger the better suppressor for accuracy and stability. We grab the bipod because why not? The boost, on the other hand, we grab stability on this one specifically. For the foregrip, we do not go for railed foregrip. Gadget, we do grab the LED combo. And for the stock, we are going to be using the solid stock. For the secondary sniper here, we do grab the suppressor for the accuracy and stability increase. We grab ourselves the bolt for the rate of fire increase. We grab ourselves the exclusive set for the accuracy and stability increase. As for the gadgets, we only went for the compact laser. It's a bolt action rifle, so stability really isn't too much of a worry here. The magazine, we do go for the increase for the 2 bullets inside the mag. The sight is purely optional, but I went for the Seymour. The ex-president's DMR build. The DMR setup, this one was fun to play, but it was also really hard with ammo economy. Since we bring the DMR, which is awesome damage, it's lacking in ammo pickup. The secondary weapon we bring is the 5.7, and we needed something good enough with concealment and something good enough to really deal with shields. So we didn't really have to grab shotgun, and we wouldn't have to waste points in that situation. But if we did grab shotgun, then we would waste ammo with the DMR to try and stagger them, or would have to switch weapons and then try to shotgun. So if we're already switching weapons, I'm just going to go for the 5.7. To prevent ammo loss and time taken to change weapons to trigger the shotgun, I just went for the 5.7 as I just mentioned. It kills shields with ease and has the ability to pierce armor and go through walls, which that's very important. So you will find yourself in this build to want to pick your shots, not worry about every cop on the map since we'll try and grab 2 jokers. You'll have optical illusions. This makes your jokers get shot at more, and your jokers will be killing things for you, which will help the ammo issue that the build does have. We do bring an ammo bag into the build for that oh shit kind of moment. Like when you're in a dire need of ammo and you've got a bulldozer pushing you, and the only way you're going to be able to survive it is if you had ammo inside of your DMR, and then you'd be able to drop your ammo bag and then you're safe. Now normally you would have ammo bags for your teammates' use, but this ammo bag is for mostly your use only. So try to place it later in the game, or like place it somewhere where you're going to be playing so you have access to that ammo always. Just so you don't run out, because that's the main thing in this build, is if you run out. If you hand out the ammo in this setup to all your teammates, you'll find yourself in a tricky spot. Now by no means am I saying that you cannot just regen the ammo from using the guns. Actually, you'll be using the 5.7 to grab bullets for the DMR when it runs low, because you'll have to try to remember that you don't need full magazines for the DMR, since it does massive damage and it only takes a couple of bullets to kill. So since I was playing with this build, I wasn't really concerned for ammo until my DMR got like under 20 shots. Now let's get into the skills for the build here. As I'd already mentioned, we have double jokers with the partners in crime. We grab ourselves a rifleman for the 100 to snap to zoom for the DMR and the stability underneath it. We grab ourselves bullseye with the pairing of shock and awe basic and resilience for the passive armor regen and the aggressive armor regen. We grab scavenger for our ammo. We grab bunny expertise basic because we're mostly going for headshots in this, so if we do get into a spray situation, that's where surefire and body expertise do come into play. Inside Ghost here, it is a concealment build, so we do grab Sneaky Bastard with the sprinting dodge, and we grab ourselves Optical Illusion, Low Blow, Inner Pockets, Unseen Strike, Basic, but then we grab ourselves High Value Target and the Professional, which is 100% accuracy, and that's pretty much it. Now when I say 100% accuracy, I'm not saying the skill gives us that, it's just most of your guns, when you get this skill, you're going to have 100% accuracy. For the weapons here, you can choose a couple of the DMRs, but I went for the AMR 16. For the barrel, I went for the bigger the better for the accuracy and stability. For the boost, I actually went for the accuracy increase. As the foregrip, we went for the blast from the past for that stability concealment. As a gadget, we go for the compact laser for no statistical change. As a grip, we just went for the rubber grip. We go for the lower receiver as the thrust for that damage increase. We go for the fast mag for just reloading quicker. Obviously, you can go for some different variations here. For sights, it's purely optional and you have room for it. You can go for pretty much any of them. I went for the Seymour sight. Inside stocks, I go for War Torn, which is giving me a accuracy increase. Since I'm not fully building everything around the concealment and still reaching the detection risk that I'm wanting to reach, that's why I'm using something that's minusing my concealment here for the accuracy increase. Then we go for the Exquisite Receiver, which is giving me a damage and stability increase. At this point, I was already reaching 100 accuracy and didn't need to go any further. For the 5.7 here, we grab the tin treated barrel, which is mostly centered around concealment, the build itself, but the barrel is giving us accuracy and stability. Next for the suppressor, we're using the, no idea how to pronounce that, which is giving us a good concealment, and the accuracy is getting buffed because of the skill, plus the stability is as well. For a boost, we're using the concealment. A gadget, we're using the one that gives us no change.
I got ammo for the boys.
The magazine, we go for the extended because it does no change to concealment. And you could go for the sight that minuses stability, but instead of minusing stability, I just wanted to keep it. The ex-president's light ballistic vest build. This build is probably the fan favorite, while it is one of my favorites personally. When I had this build, I had all the final touches done up to it. I was playing with just random lobbies, and there was this one panic room game that I joined. I was playing downstairs as I normally do at the start of the heist, and trying to lock down the bottom floor, going to all the doors and killing them and trying to hold him back. By the time the objective came around, not many cops had a chance really to move from the downstairs to the upstairs, and with the damage output coming from this build. When we make it to the roof, I was able to kill most of the cops myself and getting, most of the callouts and, whatnot, but suddenly the host had to leave and go to work or something along those lines. And when I had went to sleep the next morning, I woke up to a comment on my newest YouTube video. It was the host from that panic room game that I was just playing from last night, in which mentioning the game I had just described to you that I had joined into, from their point of view, and I knew at that point that this build was amazing. Having someone else from a public game reach out to you and then mention how good you are with that exact build, that is why it's worthy for this build. I wanted to mention this since the interaction I tend to get inside this community isn't always nice. But with this being said, I'd recommend this setup to anyone wanting to play an aggressive style of, ex-presidents. So to lay it out there for you, you are the main DPS with the Akimbos. The damage yield is so good that you'll be out killing your team and be the main source of your own heals. Coming with all the damage makes it easy for you to get your armor regens. Since you're going to be in the fight, it happens all the times that you can. Inside of this build, you are using the light ballistic vest for 70 armor value, which comes in handy in close range fighting style. Since lighter damage cops will hit you before the 225 damage does, the 70 armor saves your HP from being exposed to the 225 damage. Since you are in the frying pan and you're in the heat of the battle, that 70 armor is really going to stop the damage from hitting your HP, and that's the difference maker here. The secondary SMG that I'm using is the Mark 10 because it's probably one of the best SMGs in the game, but you have a few choices in this setup as long as you're following the concealment requirements that are used for the crits inside the build. The Mark 10 will hit shots from pretty much all ranges, and it is nice to whip out for just saving ammo with your primary P90s. While the P90s can hold up their own, I bring ammo bags for the aggressive play, and not having to risk it on the ammo boxes that are placed on the ground after you kill an enemy, you can keep yourself in the safe position and keep yourself ahead of the game. Now, let's get into the skills for the build here. I grab myself Stable Shot for the stability and Rifleman for the snap to zoom. I then grab Bullseye for the aggressive regen. Then I grab Shock and Awe and Resilience for the passive armor regens. And as I mentioned, we have the light ballistic vest, so we go for Die Hard. I give myself body expertise since we're using SMGs as our primary weapons. The body shots are going to be most valuable to us. Sometimes accuracy is not always the factor, but in this case, my guns are very accurate. I grab myself Sneaky Bastard and full crits inside the build, while also following the inner pocket's optical illusions. I grab myself stability and accuracy increases. And then I grab myself the Akimbo skill, so my Akimbos can actually be worth some value to the ammo. The way I customized my P90s was I put the civilian market barrel on, which gave me an accuracy increase and some damage increase, but the damage wasn't really that valuable. Next I went for the bigger the better suppressor, which has given me accuracy and stability increases. As a boost, I went for an accuracy increase. As the gadgets, I went for the LED combo, which gives me stability increase. For the lower receiver, this is completely optional, it gives no statistical change, but I went for the custom frame. Magazines, you definitely want to grab the speed pull mags, it'll make the Akimbo P90s much more valuable. Now, the Mark 10 here, I grabbed the bigger the better suppressor for the accuracy stability increase. For the boost, I go for an accuracy increase. I do not grab the railed foregrip, which it can give you more stability if you were not reaching that stability. As a gadget, I go for the micro laser, gives me no changes. As a lower receiver, I do put the custom built frame, but this is purely optional. As a magazine, I go for the speed pull mag. As a sight, it's very situational really, but I go for the Seymour. For the stock, I do put the stock on for that 12 stability and the 4 accuracy increase, while still being able to reach enough detection risk to have full crits. This was definitely one of my favorite builds to play. Let me know if you guys decide to play this build, and if you do, did you change the Akimbo weapons? Because there's some good options that you can choose from here. I just personally went for the P90s. The ICTV ex-president's build. This build will look weird to most players. The ex-president's is having a dodge factor in the build, so it makes it odd if you were to put on ICTV and just remove all the dodge, but it comes with a tanky value. We grab Quick Fix Aced for damage reduction for 2 shunt armor, which will protect my HP from getting damaged. This is helpful since not every damage value is going to be 225 damage. That makes the lighter damaged cops be shrugged off quickly and allows you to stay in combat for longer. Since the ICTB will use a lot of cover, make sure that you play near cover most of the time. I went for the Akimbo Kxng since they're probably some of the best guns to use in an HP based build. They have enough damage to kill without the need of Zerk, and they don't really have much of an ammo issue. Now this is going to be weird for some players, but I went for a pistol secondary. Most people that go for a pistol will just grab the 5.7, and that's understandable. But I go for a pistol that has decent damage, and the usefulness is pulling it out to regen ammo for my Akimbos, and it does come with 100% accuracy, so it's hitting range shots with this pistol really is no issue. And you also have so many pistols to choose from because concealment's not an option here, and if you're pairing it with the pistol skill with the fire rate, there's not really much of an issue with choosing any of the pistols in the game. Target priority will be your most thing that you're focused on in this build, shooting the cops that are aiming at you rather than just trying to kill everything. That's the difference maker here inside of a 2-shot armor. If you're trying to face tank cops, you'll quickly find yourself at lower HP values and be struggling to be surviving. Now, let's get into the skills for the build here. I grabbed myself Quick Fix Aced with the upper skill Ace so that I can have 14 first aid kits for HP regen, and I can have 2 minutes of damage reduction so that I can achieve 2-shot armor. I grabbed myself Iron Man for 2-shot armor as I had previously just mentioned. We do grab Shock and Awe Aced. We grab ourselves Bullseye for the aggressive regen, and then Shock and Awe and Resilience for the passive regen. I grabbed myself Body Expertise Basic, since once again, the Kxngs are probably one of the best guns to use in an HP based build. The Body Expertise Ace isn't exactly necessary. We do grab ourselves Duck and Cover and Parkour and save an ICTV build so that we can have some speed. I still grab Optical Illusion so that we're less likely targeted. And then I grab Crits inside of the ICTV setup. And then lastly, I'm grabbing Trigger Happy for the pistol that I'm choosing inside of the build. And I'm also grabbing the Akimbo skill, Ace, so that I can make more use of my Akimbo weapons. The options to the Akimbo weapons that you're using is almost unlimited, because you can use any of the Akimbo SMGs that are there. And for the ones that I'm using here, this is how I built them. I used the Precision Barrel for the accuracy and stability increases. I then went for the Bigger the Better Suppressor for the accuracy and stability increases. For a boost, I went for accuracy. For a gadget, I went for the LED combo for the stability increase. For the grip, I went for the aluminum grip, that accuracy increase. As the stock, I did not remove the stock, I kept them on. As for the pistols here, you have multiple choices that you can go through, but I went for the Signature 40. I used the Jungle Ninja Suppressor, which is giving me 100 accuracy, 100 stability. Then inside the boost, I went for an accuracy boost. For a gadget, I just went for the Micro Laser. There was no need for anything else. For the grip, I went for the Ergo Grip for the stability increase. As a magazine, I went for the Extended Mag. Sights, you could use sights here. I personally did not want to use them. And as for the slide, I went for the long slide, which gives me accuracy, stability, and a damage increase. AR Pistol Ex-President's build. This was also featured inside my How to Ex-President from a 10k player. Now if you watch that setup and this setup now, it has some changes but the build plays the same. If you have the AUG, which it doesn't really matter because it doesn't have too many weaknesses or strengths, it's a pretty solid pick. We choose this because we can hold positions when it's needed, and we are open to play from all angles of the map, mostly focusing on headshots now inside the build. We still bring ourselves fully loaded Ace for the nades regen, which is very helpful when not being able to peek a group of cops. You just throw your nade out, and then you kill them all, and then you get your HP stacked up. This build will be at its best when you're playing elusive, meaning always trying to be a step ahead of the cops, trying to avoid damage and quickly taking out the cops, or fast moving from point A to point B and working with the reaction timers plus grace period. We bring the 5.7 with the pistol skills here for dozer killing ability. Matching it with full crits, it makes for nasty damage output with the 5.7. If you decide to use the AR on dozers, you will pour through ammo. Now, it's not that much of a concern because we do have ammo bags, it just will affect your uptime inside of a fight. As I just mentioned, we do bring ammo bags for the benefit of the team, since your guns are fine on ammo pickup, but you are going to be having fully loaded for the throwable regen, so you'll be taking a lot of the ammo boxes for the grenade regen. Plus, you'll be using this method to run out and grab ammo, to get shot, break your armor, and then you'll be able to get a good effect of HP regen offered to you from the perk deck. And as a side note, you can throw down your TNT and then blow yourself up and then get your armor broken, or you can throw down a Molotov instead. There's multiple options here with the fully loaded. Let's get into the skills for the build here. I first go for combat medic, so if I do get painkiller shouted, I can have 2-shot HP. Then I go for stable shot and rifleman for the increased zoom speed plus the stability. Then I grab resilience with shotgun off for the passive regen of armor, and then I grab bullseye for an aggressive style of armor regen. Then I go for fully loaded so I can have ammo regen for the nades. Then I grab double ammo bags with the bullet storm. Then inside technician I'm grabbing body expertise basic with the surefire so that if I do miss the headshot I'm still able to deal quite a bit of damage to the body. Next I go for sprinting dodge so that when I'm sprinting I get that extra dodge. Next I go for low blow aced, but don't invest into the sneaky. I do grab optical illusions basic here. And then after that we go for the trigger happy so that my 5.7 can be our dozer killing weapon. There is plenty of assault rifles that you can choose from here, but as I mentioned I went for the UAR rifle. I went for the short barrel for the stability and concealment increase. Next I went for the bigger the better for the accuracy and stability. For the boost, I had to go for a concealment so that the gun can still match the detection risk. For the extra, you can add the A3 grip if you swap some of your early customized options around. As for the gadget, we went for the micro. The lower receiver, we did put the polymer body on. It gives us a stability, accuracy, and a damage increase. Next we go for the speed pull mag. Sights are purely optional, and I went for the Seymour. For the 5.7 here, we go for the tin treated barrel for accuracy stability. Then we use the champion suppressor for the accuracy increase. As for the boost, we go for an accuracy increase. For the gadget, we go for the micro laser for no changes. For the magazine, we do go for the extended mag because it gives us no changes to the concealment. As for the sights, we go for the sight that gives us minus stability so that it does not minus any concealment. This is just to help us hit our shots, and that's all. I personally enjoy this build a lot. It has a lot of different ways to play, and it brings a lot to the table when playing the build. So if you enjoyed this build, why don't you tell me in the comment section what you did enjoy about it? And if you changed the assault rifle, what did you change your assault rifle to? The old meta ex-president shotgun build. This is the old meta pairing the shotgun damage output with the shotgun ammo economy. This makes for the ex-prez's best way of just surviving and as being one of the main hitters on your team. You bring full crits on overkill skill, and then you have surefire to get AP rounds on buckshot ammo. This makes crowd control to be at its finest. You're one of the best ways to crowd control. And just to point out, the shotgun, if you're shooting it down a hallway and you have the surefire, you can just blast down the hallway and blast it into rooms, and you have the overkill trigger, you have crits, you're just going to be mauling through these guys and you're not going to die. One thing you want to avoid is spending all your ammo on a dozer. They will soak up most of the shots, and try to just fight the common cops and try to go always after the groups of cops rather than single cops. This will help you effectively produce more damage with the spread of the gun hitting more than one cop, plus you're going to be saving ammo and you're going to keep fighting. We bring a fire shotgun as a secondary for concealment and for ammo reach-in when it is needed for the primary shotgun. It comes in handy for distance shooting things like snipers. Now after the nerf on this ammo type, it is still good for killing them in a few shots, dependent really on the range for the stunning ability. The DPS output lets you be aggressive, but make sure not to be too aggressive. Since your armor gate from the perk deck is based on passive reach-in, that means you still will need to not get aimed at, not get shot at, not have armor suppression be happening for you to actually reach in, which is hard if the player is pushed into battle and cannot stop the cops shooting at you because of range or target priority wasn't, fully ensued. Now with that being said, the range into factor and not being targeted as much because you put range into factor, that's how you'll play this build slightly more effectively, is putting range in between you and the enemies and then closing that distance between you and the medium ranged battles and closing that distance in the close ranged battles so that you can provide more damage and not have to expend as much ammo. And as I had mentioned previously, the more distance you put in between you and an enemy, the less likely they will be to target you, just naturally. Also, we do grab a Joker in this setup, so we have something else that gets shot at that just isn't my teammates. Plus, the Joker will kill things for you, which will create ammo pickups for free for you to use. No, he does not give you HP regen though. Let's get into the skills for the build here. I grab partners in crime so that I get a health increase for the build so that when I do be inside the fight, the lighter damaged cops, when they do attack my HP, it's like essentially I'm back to normal HP without a Joker. Next I grab overkill so my shotgun is worth something, and we do grab the sprinting and shoot skill plus the reloading ability. Next I grab shock and awe and resilience for the passive armor regen, and then I grab bullseye for the aggressive regen. Then I go for steady grip for the 16 stability. Then I go for surefire, so my buckshot is AP, meaning that it can pierce through the enemy armor. Then I go for sneaky bastard and full crits. And then I grab berserker, because inside the shotgun build, when you are at low HP, now I have berserker inside, and pairing that with overkill, full crits, and surefire, now that I'm bringing berserker into the mix, if I do get put to low HP, it's going to be like one-shotting every enemy. Now as for the shotgun here, we do grab buckshot rounds. Next I grab the short barrel for the minus accuracy and the concealment increase. For the barrel extension, I go for the horizontal leveler, which allows me to have more stability and more damage. Plus, it'll make my shotgun burst come out as a flat spread. For the boost here, I went for minus accuracy. You want to minus your accuracy as much as you can for a shotgun so that you can have more of a spread. For custom, I went for auto fire for stability increase, damage increase, and accuracy minus. Next I go for the hollow handle, which is giving me concealment. Next I go for the compact laser for no changes. Next I go for the AK wood grip, which gives me 12 stability, almost putting me at 100 stability. And then I go for the Big Brother magazine for those 4 bullets increase, which doesn't seem too much, but it is decent.
Nice emote.
Then I go for the classic stock, which gives me another 12 stability, my bad. But it is also giving me an accuracy increase, which you don't necessarily want this accuracy increase, but for that stability, I'm going to take it. Now, for the judge here, you're going to build this mostly around concealment and have Dragon's Breath rounds. Since this is a legendary, I didn't really customize anything to it, it's mostly just a concealed judge. Minigun ex-president. This build really is just an honorable mention. It was part of one of my weekly videos, the No Mercy, No Downs. It was overall just a fun build. We still have fully loaded ace for nade regen, which is very helpful when I'm not able to peek a group of cops. I just throw a nade out, kill them, and get my HP back. It brings ammo banks for the benefit of the team. Since your guns are fine with ammo pickup, you're using fully loaded mostly just for the throwable regen, so you'll be taking a lot of the ammo boxes for just your grenade regen. Plus, the method of running out and getting shot to grab ammo and it breaks your armor, that's a good way of keeping your HP regen always offered to you. And then at the side note, you can always use your throwables to break your armor to offer yourself regen in that form. Same as an LMG gunner, target prioritization is really what you're going to be wanting to focus on, and that's what's going to profit inside of this build. Being capable of controlling a group by staggering them, knocking them over with enough damage dealt so the cops are rolling on the ground, killing them, and then coming back to the grounded cops and finishing them off. If you're able to do this, it'll make a difference with your survival. We bring full crits with body expertise and surefire for insane DPS output and constantly having nades being thrown. If you are interested in the build, here's the skills for it. We have stability increase with stable shot. I grab shotgun off ace so that my minigun can stagger my shields. Plus we have resilience plus shotgun off for passive regen. We grab bullseye for aggressive armor regen. We have fully loaded for the nade regen, plus 2 ammo bags, plus bullet storm. Makes for just a really fun field day. Next we have body expertise with lock and load and surefire ace so that my minigun is just an absolute killing machine. Next, as I mentioned, it's a full crit build, so we have low blow, unseen strike, and we had to grab the professional, so we grabbed the professional. Just to get to the top, that's all. We grab sprinting dodge instead of going for sneaky bastard as well. For the minigun here, you have to grab the stump barrel for the concealment increase. For a boost, you have to go for the concealment increase. As extra, you have to take the half kit so that you can get another concealment increase. And as for the gadget, you have to go for the micro laser for no statistical change. There's many options as secondaries, but I went for the SMG. You just need the low profile suppressor. For a boost, you want to go for concealment. For the foregrip, you want to go for the concealed one. As for gadgets, the micro laser. For magazines, we did not use it. No sights. No stock for concealment. Now, this is mostly just a fun build, but if you guys do enjoy it, then let me know, because I do enjoy this build. It's a lot of fun playing. It's just a kind of silly, almost like a meme setup, but it definitely has a lot of potential as doesnt and juice. Now, let's go over to the math for some parts of the build that I've mentioned already inside of this video. Firstly, I want to go over all the HP pools that the ex-president has access to. Its first one being 322 HP, which is the base HP. Next being 391, which is a Joker increase. You can have 446 with a crew chief and a Joker buff. You can have 451 with an AI and a Joker buff. And then you can have 506 HP with the crew chief, AI, and Joker buff. Now, with the base 322 HP inside of the ex-presidents, if you were to get downed, you'd have 32.2 HP. Now, with knowing that, if you were to get shouted by painkillers, you'd be able to have 3 shots before you were to get downed, assuming you have 20 armor. 1 would be to your armor, and then 2 would be to your HP. The first shot of 31.5 damage, which would be translated from 225, would leave you with what would seem to be 0 HP, but in reality, you would have 32.2 HP, leaving you with 0.7 HP. So essentially, you're still alive. You have 0.7 HP. And then the same as with if you have 391 HP, then you'll have 41.4 HP when you get healed, and then from that you will still be able to get shot 3 times with painkiller shout being active, but you have to have combat medic. The whole way that we're making the ICTV build work is under the circumstance of 10% damage reduction from the facts, and this is the math. On the suit, light ballistic vest, and ICTV, here's the max amount of health that you can store on each. And then lastly, if you have 322 HP, you get shot for 225 damage. You get left with 97 HP. Let's assume that you have your health stack up ready, and you get regen for 210 HP. Now you're at 307, and essentially, you've only taken 15 damage. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. It has taken me at least 3 weeks to compile all of the builds, the clips, footage, and refine all the skills for the build. Some of them have went some changes, some of them have just kind of stayed the same. Please leave me a like, comment, subscribe to me if you're new here. We do have weekly build videos. We do have weekly videos of just games from the stream. And then we have major build videos like this one here. And then in the future we're going to have some solo, duo, and other things in that nature. Challenge build videos and things like that. Thank you guys so much.